Assalamu alaikum. On July 13th, 2007, Hazur continued his sermon on the topic of the divine attribute Al-Mu'min, which means bestower of security in Arabic. Hazur outlined 6 primary characteristics a true believer should adopt, as noted in chapter 2, verses 3 and 4 of the Holy Quran. These 6 are as follows. First, to believe in the unseen. Second, to establish prayer. 3, to spend in the way of Allah. 4, to believe in what was revealed to the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. 5, to believe in what was revealed before the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. And 6, to believe in the hereafter. Hazur then described each one of these 6 in greater detail. To summarize, he stated, first, to believe in the unseen means to have unshakable faith in the existence of Allah. This absolute faith leads a believer towards understanding the mysteries of God. Believing in the unseen also entails believing in angels, life after death, and so on, and one must hold on to this faith as it wins the pleasure of God and can only be seen and judged by Him. Second, to observe prayer, or salat in Arabic, means the believer should set aside the 5 appointed times of worship to fully focus on God and separate oneself from the world of materiality. Prayers are to be regular and routine if they are to impact and benefit a believer's spiritual growth. In addition, congregational prayers are more rewarded and encourage the community of Muslims to act as one body. Third, spending in the way of Allah includes any effort to help the cause of the faith, as well as to help fellow brethren. This not only refers to money, but any type of skills and talents that one can donate, so to speak. This selfless service develops a bond between the giver and the receiver, and the society as a whole strengthens. Fourth, believing in what was revealed to the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, means that a believer should accept the Holy Prophet as Khatam al-Nabiyyin, or the seal of the prophets, and accept the Holy Quran as the final book of law given for humanity. 5, believing in what was revealed before the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, means to accept that God sent prophets to every nation, as referred to in chapter 35, verse 25 of the Holy Quran. And last, 6, believing in the hereafter entails 2 things. First, that there will be a prophet after the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, whose advent will be supported by prophecies and signs. And second, to believe in the day of judgment. Hazur then described general characteristics of believers. A believer must love Allah above all else, as is mentioned in chapter 2, verse 166 of the Holy Quran. A believer's whole life revolves around the existence of the transcendent God, and in fact, the 6 previously mentioned articles of faith are meaningless unless one has a sincere love for Allah. A true believer exhibits fear when the name of Allah is mentioned, as stated in chapter 8, verse 3 of the Holy Quran. A believer obeys the commandments of Allah in order to attain His nearness. A mere verbal profession of this faith is not enough and must be supported by actions until the teachings of Islam are completely adopted as a way of life. Similarly, a believer should follow the instructions of the Khalifa and respect the Nizam-e-Jamaat. Decisions by the Qaza board should be accepted without dispute, even if not passed in one's favor. The intentions of the decision makers should not be mistrusted, and matters should not be publicly discussed in order to avert further conflict. If a wrong decision was made against someone who, in his innocence and naivete, was unable to defend his point of view, whereas the other party was able to manipulate the result in their favor, even then, a believer should comply with the decision, knowing full well that he has wrongfully incurred losses. Allah's help comes to the people in ways that they least expect it, so believers should trust that Allah is the just, as mentioned in chapter 32, verse 16. Hazur ended his sermon by praying that Allah grant us the ability to develop true love for Allah and adopt the qualities of a mu'min that are pleasing to Allah. May Allah shower us with abundant rewards through His mercy and His grace. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum.